Hi, welcome to Behind the Song. I've been talking about my own songs for the last few weeks, but I think it's probably time we started talking about some excellent songwriters who've written excellent songs. And the aim of this series of videos, which we're going to do as regularly as I possibly can, is to analyze these excellent songs, figure out what they mean, and how the music reinforces that meaning. What are the musical decisions, the songwriting decisions, the production decisions, the mixing decisions that reinforce that meaning and all come together to make this a brilliant song? So up this week is See You Again by the Grey Havens, one of my all-time favorite bands, one of my all-time favorite songs. These guys are excellent. Dave and Lucia do a great job of everything that they do, and they've been a huge influence on my own songwriting and the way I think about Christian music. So what we're going to do, the format for this each week is, I'd like you to do this with me. So we're going to listen to the song in a moment. And as you can see, I've got my notepad, I've got my pen, I've got a cup of tea. And I'm going to listen to it a few times, but certainly at least listen to it all the way through from start to finish once. And as you go, I want you to answer the following question. What musical decisions here reinforce the meaning of this song? So maybe you need to think about what you think the song means first, and I'll talk to that when we come back. But is there something about the way the piano works? Or is there a mixing decision that helps you feel the things that you're supposed to feel, or things like that? I want you to find hopefully at least 3, but you'll probably find lots more once we get into the swing of it, once we get some practice. And then we'll come back and I'll discuss my answers, and you can put yours in the comments if you like. And then at the end, I'm going to do a version of the song that hopefully does the same things as what we've discovered about it, but in a way that's mine. So before we go any further, it's probably enough rambling. Go have a listen to See You Again. You can do that. There's a link here. And definitely don't get so caught up in listening to the Grey Havens that you don't come back. So just listen to it and then definitely come back and watch the rest of the video. So this song, off the album She Waits. So Tom from the future here with Moses, just for a quick interruption to explain what I think the song is actually about, because I didn't do that when I filmed it before. So this song is about what you might say to your loved ones if you were to die and leave them behind. What hope might you have, and what encouragement might you have for them as you prepare them for grieving you, basically. Sounds slightly dark when you put it that way, but we've just listened to the song, we know that it's not. And it's actually quite hopeful. So back to other Tom to explain what that means. And I think there are a few things that play into the mood and help reinforce the kind of hope and forward thinking, or forward looking, I suppose, that characterize a Christian hope in death. And this song does an excellent job, I think, of guiding us through at least a part of the grieving and the mourning process to a place of faith and trust in God. And the first thing I think that I noticed as I listened through, and maybe you did as well, is that this song feels like the end of a film. It actually feels like we finished a movie and the final credits are rolling and this song is playing. And I think that's the perfect vibe, that's the perfect atmosphere for a song and an emotion like this, because it's got a sense of finality to it, it's got a sense of finishing, but it's also got a sense of hope and looking forward, like maybe there's a sequel coming up or something like that, you know? It's that mixture of the upbeat driving drums and piano, it's kind of hopeful and joyous, and then the atmospheric textures in the background, the strings, the guitars, and the vocal harmonies and effects that make it feel somehow otherworldly and still a little bit sad. Like, we're sad the film's over, but we know there's another one coming. I also really like the very subtle harmonies and vocal effects that Alicia sings and that go on Dave's voice. I think they speak to the tension and the difficulty of, I think, hanging on to the hope and the truth of what happens and what Christians believe about death. Sometimes that hope can be a very small, very hard to hear voice amongst the volume of grief and the volume of emotion that comes when we lose someone. And yet there's just enough of it there that it kind of has this like heavenly, otherworldly voice, as if heaven itself is encouraging us and reminding us of what is true and letting us know that this is not the end, that something else is coming. Finally, I think there's a really interesting mix of acoustic instruments and synthesized instruments. And a lot of the acoustic instruments are the upfront, joyous, driving things that really give the energy to the song. And then a lot of the electronic things are the atmosphere, the background, are the subtle things, as if there's this now not yet tension being reinforced by the music. There's something about the now and the emotions of the song happening in the acoustic instruments, but there's also the subtle encouragement and steadiness and perseverance of the synthesized instruments, the electronic textures and the strings as well, which pretty heavily processed in some parts, which I think give it this like otherworldly, again, that kind of heavenly voice. There's a feeling of this now hope that we have, as well as the not yet but to come resolution that will happen when we see our loved ones again after they've passed. And the instrumentation and the orchestration really of this song, I think, very, very nicely, when you think about it, send that message. And even when you don't think about it, I think they convey that feeling to you. But now we turn to, what do we do with this? How do we take this idea of a finale type vibe and some very subtle electronic, very subtle vocal effects, and subtle electronic textures to kind of create this heavenly, otherworldly voice breaking into the earthly now kind of voice? How do we take those things and make them our own? How do I take those things and make them my own? Well, because there was 3 things I noticed, I'm going to do this in 3 ways, just to, make a nice mirror. So the first thing I thought about when I was thinking about how to create this finale vibe is the thought that, well, actually chords can do this too. The driving drums and the piano mixed with the more atmospheric stuff in the background can help create that. But then you can also have chord progressions that move from tension to finality in such a way as to kind of go from drama to a sense of home and rest. So I thought I might play around with that. The second thing I thought about with the vocal harmonies and textures was, what if we make all the instruments a part of that subtle reinforcement? What if we give all the instruments a chance to maybe double the melody or reinforce some of the melody at some point, as if it's not just one person who has passed away that is encouraging or speaking back to us, or it's not just one voice or a small section of voices, but maybe like the whole choir or the whole ensemble of heaven is reminding us that we'll see this person again. We'll see this loved one that we've lost again. Or we'll see, in fact, everyone who believes in Jesus, we'll see them again. And they're almost calling to us from that future, from that not yet resolution. Yeah, I think I might create a little melodic motif out of the main melody and pass it through all the sections that will happen in my recording that you're about to listen to. And the last thing I thought would be, how interesting would it be to flip the main focus and turn the electronic instruments into the main upfront instrumentation and take the earthly ones a little bit to the background? And now, I feel like this has the potential to hurt the song in that you don't want to maximize the now over the not yet, if that makes sense. Or you don't want to turn the not yet into too much of a now thing, because that's what we call in theological terms over-realized eschatology. And I'm not a huge fan of that in terms of wanting to say that all the things that Jesus has accomplished and done must be and have to be realized now, or we're doing something wrong, or something like that. I think there should be a healthy hope and a healthy patience in terms of God fully realizing and fully bringing to earth what he accomplished through his son on the cross. We don't want to under-realize our eschatology either. And so I'm going to attempt to maybe just slightly shift the balance to see if the song maybe takes on a slightly different meaning if it becomes the heavenly voice, that's the main one, while still keeping that balance between we're persevering through this, we're waiting for this. It's not, as if I pray hard enough, I'll see my loved one again right now or something like that. And so without, I guess, any further ado, Here's my version of See You Again. This has got my name on a stone written down. Darling, it's the same. That's where I live in now. Yeah, we always knew that today would come, 'cause all we had was a spark. But one day soon, when the sparks all bloomed and they're chasing back the dark, gonna see you again on the cold streets, standing next to me. I know I'm gonna see you again. Darling, won't be long till every trace of trouble is gone. We'll be together and I'm not sure what that means, but I know it'll be better than we ever dreamed when I see you again. So we wait for now till the day has arrived, when we meet once more and we'll say something like, I always knew you could be like this. I saw flashes and glimpses before, but they fade, they seem like a distant dream when you walk into the door. When I see you again on the cold streets, standing next to me, I know I'm gonna see you again. Darling, won't be long till every trace of trouble is gone. We'll be together and I'm not sure what that means, but I know it'll be better than we ever dreamed when I see you again. When I see you again. Leave behind so much left to say. We'll have time, 'cause with forever there's another day. Leave behind so much left to say. We'll have time, 'cause with forever there's another day. When I see you again on the cold streets, standing next to me, I know I'm gonna see you again. Darling, won't be long till every trace of trouble is gone. We'll be together and I'm not sure what that means, but I know it'll be better than we ever dreamed. Be together and I'm not sure what that means, but I know it'll be better than we ever dreamed when I see you again. So I'd encourage you to have a go at this. Take what you listened to and what you understood and what you learned from your listening of the songs and turn it into your own version, and then send it to me. Upload it to Instagram or YouTube or whatever, and tag me in it, or send me a message or something like that. I'd love to hear it. I'll definitely share it if you do. And I'd love to keep these conversations going about how we can learn from these really great songs so that we can make more and more of this inspiring and encouraging and enlightening Christian art. And we'll see you next time on Behind the Song.